Have you ever paused and truly wondered what forms the unshakable foundation for any relationship? Especially within marriage, that sacred journey where two individuals build a shared world. Is it the initial fiery passion, boundless understanding, or unwavering commitment? Or, perhaps, more profoundly, it's the art of effective communication, a skill many great minds have hailed as the master key to success, happiness, and fulfillment. In the hustle and bustle of modern life, we often get caught up seeking complex formulas for achievement, yet we overlook the most fundamental bedrock that shapes every aspect: how we speak, how we listen, and how we truly understand one another. It's not just a matter of eloquent words, it's an entire universe of signals, emotions, in deep resonance from the very core of our souls. Welcome back to Shining Mirror-LVB, a space where we not only contemplate life's profound values but also collectively illuminate the most authentic fragments of life. Timeless lessons from successful figures, and the profound wisdom from great philosophers. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that seems simple yet is incredibly complex and essential: effective communication in marriage. This isn't just a subject every couple should reflect upon to find common ground. It's also a mirror reflecting how we interact with the world around us, with ourselves, and even with the divine, who bestowed upon us this miraculous ability to connect. Join us on this journey to explore the profound layers of communication, not just through the lens of inspiring modern insights, but also through relatable personal reflections, real-life stories from history, and timeless wisdom, because understanding how to communicate means understanding yourself and your partner, thereby building a solid foundation for a complete and happy life. Communication, more than words, and the power of edification. You know, when we talk about communication, we often immediately think of words and direct conversations. But if we stop there, we miss an entire universe of interaction. Communication, at its core, is a complex and continuous dance of every signal we exchange daily. It's the sparkling eyes of joy, the worried furrowed brow, the warm or cold tone of voice, or even those subtle, knowing looks that only intimates can decipher. It's the sum total of all signals, both verbal and nonverbal, from body language to the energy radiating from each person. In marriage, where intimacy and vulnerability coexist, this becomes even more crucial. From simple, good morning, greetings uttered each dawn, to deep discussions about family finances or raising children, every interaction, big or small, is a golden opportunity to either build the relationship stronger or inadvertently create cracks. It is in these seemingly mundane moments that the seeds of misunderstanding or profound connection are sown. If we simply insist, "This is how I talk, and this is how I listen," without self-reflection and adjustment, we are missing a golden opportunity for growth. Because effective communication demands flexibility, adaptability, and a heart ready to listen, not just to respond, but to truly understand. In this context, a powerful principle has echoed through generations, encapsulated in a potent saying: "Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up, as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear." This is not merely a moral injunction but a detailed roadmap for all forms of communication, especially within the sacred space of marriage. It reminds us that every word we utter must be a building block, a source of life, not a piercing arrow that wounds the relationship. Let's reflect more deeply on this. The power of words lies not only in their ability to persuade or inspire, it also resides in their capacity to heal wounds, mend ruptures, and uplift the spirit of a listener. A kind word, a sincere encouragement, can change an entire day, dispel all weariness, and even shape a lifetime. Conversely, a harsh word, a thoughtless criticism, can leave a deep scar on the listener's soul, sometimes more painful than a physical wound. In a marital relationship, this becomes even more imperative. If our words do not uplift our partner, do not encourage them, do not affirm their value, but instead make them feel small, belittled, or disrespected, then we must seriously re-examine ourselves and our communication style. Words are a mirror of our inner selves. As many have contemplated, the way you talk to others is the way you talk to yourself. If we cannot speak kindly, patiently, and respectfully to our life partner, the one we choose to journey through life with, then how can we truly love and respect ourselves, or foster a peaceful and happy soul? Edification in communication is about nurturing both our own soul and the soul of our beloved partner. The harsh reality, emotions and calmness in communication. We've all experienced moments where our initial intentions were good, but then emotions took over and twisted everything. Imagine a serene morning. You want to gently wake your beloved partner with loving words. That's the intention, yet, perhaps due to a restless night's sleep, or the weight of work worries, irritation, tiredness, or simply a lack of patience suddenly surfaces. And then, the tone of voice changes, transforming gentle words into a grumpy remark, a harsh urging. This clearly demonstrates that effective communication doesn't just require good intentions. It demands strong self-control and a deep awareness of one's own emotions. This is a profound lesson about human nature, a reality we face daily. We often tend to let emotions dictate our behavior, especially when we feel pressured, tired, or hurt. In those moments, reason seems to be clouded by the fog of emotion. But truly great individuals, those who have achieved resounding success not only in their careers but also in their personal relationships, are often those with an extraordinary ability to control their emotions. They don't allow anger, frustration, or sadness to obscure their reason or destroy important relationships. They understand that reactions made in the heat of anger are often the ones we regret the most. Instead, they choose to pause, a brief moment to take a deep breath, to allow emotions to settle, and then to respond consciously, thoughtfully. There's a profound quote from Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, that has reshaped many people's thinking. Between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. That space is precisely where we can practice self-control, where we can transform good intentions into genuinely good actions, even when facing discomfort or annoyance. It's that moment when we decide whether to be an instinctive reactor or a deliberate creator. What was astonishing and profoundly educational in that morning awakening story was not just one person's mistake, but the husband's surprisingly calm response. He didn't retaliate with anger, didn't start an endless argument, but simply, calmly expressed, "I don't like it when you talk to me in that tone." That calm demeanor, that sincere and direct yet non-judgmental expression, created a moment of humility and immediate realization for the wife. It showed that sometimes, the best way to deal with ineffective communication is not to confront with anger, but with composure and truth spoken in love and respect. This is an invaluable lesson in the power of humility in communication. When we are humble, we open ourselves to listen, to truly understand another's perspective, and to acknowledge our own mistakes objectively. Humility is not weakness or subservience, it is a sign of inner strength, of maturity, and of true wisdom. Great leaders, those who profoundly influence millions, are always those who know how to listen, how to learn from others, and how to admit when they are wrong. Because only when we set aside our arrogant ego can we truly see and connect with others. The importance of listening and the consequences of misunderstanding. Effective communication, in any form, cannot exist without the art of true listening. There's a principle echoed across many cultures, from ancient philosophies to the Bible. James chapter 1 verse 19, with the saying, "Be slow to speak, quick to listen, a powerful reminder of the value of silence and reception. Ironically, in modern life, we often tend to speak more than we listen, or worse, we listen only to refute, to prove ourselves right, rather than to genuinely understand. This very attitude creates immense barriers to communication, especially in marriage, where mutual understanding is the core foundation of connection and trust. To listen is to understand, not to judge, not to criticize. This demands extraordinary patience, deep empathy, and the ability to genuinely put ourselves in another's shoes. When we listen wholeheartedly, we don't just hear the words someone speaks, we also perceive the hidden emotions, unspoken fears, hopes, and desires lurking beneath the surface. This is not an innate skill but an art, a competency that needs to be practiced and refined daily. Through every conversation, every shared moment, without genuine listening and effective communication, the consequences can spread silently and destructively. Many marriages are struggling, not due to a lack of love, but simply because they don't know how to communicate with each other. One person speaks in one way, bringing their unique experiences and perspectives. The other interprets in a different way. With their own worries and emotions, they never truly meet on the same page, on the same frequency. Misunderstandings accumulate, forming an invisible wall between them. And this issue is not confined to marriage. It's a pervasive, troubling problem in all human relationships, from families and friends to workplaces. From small communities to nations on the world map. Look at human history. Many conflicts, many devastating wars, erupted not solely due to ideological differences or resource disputes. More profoundly, they were direct consequences of communication failures, prolonged misunderstandings, a lack of mutual listening, and a refusal to truly understand another's viewpoint led to catastrophic, irreversible outcomes. Conversely, great leaders, brilliant diplomats, and peacemakers have always been masters of communication. They possessed an extraordinary ability to bridge differences, seek common ground, and build consensus through open dialogue and genuine listening. Within the family unit, poor communication doesn't just affect the spousal relationship, it also profoundly and subtly impacts children, our future. Children learn by observing and unconsciously mimicking. They will absorb how their parents communicate as a normative model. If they see their parents frequently arguing fiercely, criticizing each other, or failing to listen, they will learn that this is normal communication, the template for relationships. This can lead to serious problems in their relationships later in life, making it difficult for them to build trust and understanding. Conversely, when parents communicate in a healthy, respectful, loving, and patient manner, they are sowing precious seeds of harmony, empathy, and self-confidence into their children's souls. They are teaching their children invaluable life skills that they will carry and apply throughout their lives. As the saying goes, the family is the first school of life, and in that grand school, communication is one of the most vital subjects, shaping each child's identity and social interaction abilities. A solid foundation, love, kindness, and maturity. For any skill to reach its full potential, it needs to be built on a solid foundation. For effective communication, that foundation must include 3 pillars: grace, kindness, and love. Among these, love is considered the most crucial element, the diamond of every interaction. This is not merely a fleeting romantic emotion or an initial spark, but a conscious choice, a deliberate action, and an enduring commitment. Love in communication means we always seek to uplift the other person, even when we disagree with them, even when we are facing conflict. Think of the great individuals who have changed the world in history. They didn't do so by belittling others, by sowing hatred, or by autocratically imposing their will. They achieved it by inspiring, by building bridges of understanding, and by showing profound respect for the dignity and worth of every individual. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't achieve social change by spreading hatred or violence. He did it by preaching love and justice. Nelson Mandela didn't heal a deeply divided nation by seeking revenge against those who imprisoned him. He did it through forgiveness, through fostering reconciliation, and by building a shared future where everyone could coexist. In marriage, love must be the guiding star, the illuminating light for every conversation. No matter how simple or how tense, even when we need to express dissatisfaction, frustration, or discomfort, we can absolutely do so within the framework of love and respect. This means we learn to focus on the specific behavior, not on the person. When you do X, I feel Y, instead of, you always do X. We express our feelings genuinely and transparently, but without blame or harsh criticism. And most importantly, we always seek a solution, a shared understanding, rather than looking for a fight or someone to blame. One of the biggest, most common barriers to effective communication is the mistaken belief that, this is just how I talk, or I'm just a straightforward person. And there's nothing wrong with telling the truth. Even those who are considered passionate speakers or direct need to learn to adjust their tone, choose their words, and adapt their delivery according to the context, the audience, and the emotional state of the listener. The truth is, there is no single communication style that fits every situation or every person. The wise person is flexible, knows how to adapt their communication style to achieve the desired goal, be it understanding, consensus, or simply maintaining harmony. This is a profound lesson in personal growth and maturity. Truly successful individuals, whether in their careers or personal lives, are not always the ones who are right. They are the ones who are always learning, always adapting, and always seeking to improve themselves. They understand that to achieve what they want, or to maintain a healthy relationship, they sometimes have to change their own approach. This is especially true in communication. If the way we are talking isn't effective, if it's causing misunderstanding, hurt, or distance, then we have a responsibility to recognize and change it. That is a sign of self-awareness and courage. Finally, remember that our thoughts and words have the power to shape reality, not just the reality around us but also our inner world. If we constantly speak negatively about ourselves or about others, we will inadvertently create a negative environment, filled with tension and frustration. Conversely, if we choose to speak positive words, words of love, affirmation, and encouragement, for example, powerful affirmations about our extraordinary potential, we will create an environment of growth, prosperity, and deep connection. Effective communication is not a final destination, it is an ongoing journey. It requires daily commitment, continuous self-reflection, and a willingness to learn from our mistakes. But the rewards are immeasurable: a happier marriage, deeper and more authentic relationships, and a more fulfilling, meaningful life. So, my dear friend, after contemplating these profound lessons together, I want to ask you, what truly resonated with you from this journey of discovery? Was it the realization of the body's unspoken language, the power of the space between stimulus and response, or the critical importance of listening to understand rather than to refute? And more importantly, which principle will you apply to elevate the quality of communication in your own life? Especially in your most important relationship, the one you are building together every single day. I believe that each of us carries unique stories and experiences about communication, moments of brilliant success, and sometimes, regrettable misunderstandings. These are invaluable lessons. That's why I sincerely invite you to share your thoughts, personal insights, and your own stories in the comments section below. Every comment you make is not just a share, it's a precious spark, an authentic piece that helps shining Mirror-LVB reflect positive life values and practical lessons to our community, which is eager to learn and grow. Let's build a space together where we can learn from one another, grow together, and become the best most understanding versions of ourselves. The journey of discovering life's wonders and the path to fulfilling happiness doesn't end here. To ensure you don't miss the upcoming episodes of Shining Mirror-LVB, where we'll continue to explore powerful quotes, invaluable life lessons, profound wisdom from great individuals, and the true path to success in all aspects of life. Don't forget to click the subscribe button today, and most importantly, turn on the notification bell to always be the first to receive the latest valuable insights. Always remember, every word you speak is a seed. Choose to sow seeds of love, deep understanding, and edification, to build strong relationships and a life filled with meaning. See you in the next episode, where contemplation and growth continue.